What's up, guys? We are back. UFC Fight Night, Onama versus Garcia. I'm your host, picked by Pegasus. I'm here with Key 3 Picks, Dravy, and our special guest, Paul Dow. Paul, you've been quiet for the past year or so. You hopped off of Twitter. It's good to have you back. This is like your debut almost. Back to the spaces.
It's been a while. Glad to get out and talk some fights with a bunch of really sharp guys.
Appreciate it. All right. So, what did you guys think of the pay-per-view? We got a cheating Frenchman. Who could have called that in the main event? Saw it coming. And then Durden
plus 330. Cyril Gane's gonna rest in peace, man.
So he's plus 160 now in the reline.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bet that.
And then Durden champion. We were all there. That was a pretty close line for a fight that could have been.
She made that so much harder than
it could have been so much easier.
Like she fought the dumbest possible fight and still won.
But at the end of the day, it's like Mackenzie Dern. So, like, what kind of fight did you expect?
Yeah, that's the reason why I was like worried to nuke, because I assumed that there would be some bad decision making, but I didn't think that it would be that bad. She's 0 takedown defense for the first 3 rounds. And the elbows off her back were nice, but like she could have just decided to get up and continue.
She was just chilling.
Huh?
She was just chilling.
Yeah, that shit was.
It looked like she didn't give a fuck, bro.
Yeah, she was my biggest play of the entire card, and until the 5th round, I was sweating it so bad, and then it felt like she really pulled away in that 5th round. But she definitely made that way harder than she really needed to. And
what about my guy?
Fuck the ref. The judge, whoever gave Ludovic Klein a 10-8 for one of those rounds.
Yeah, that is bullshit.
So now we want to talk about it. So we can talk live.
Fucking bullshit.
I don't think Rebecca deserved a 10-8 at the end of the round. It's the 3rd round either. Why is that a 10-8?
What are you talking about? He whooped his ass in round 3.
Yeah. But bro, a 10-8 ass whooping is like, I don't know. I feel like that wasn't
the hell out of him.
Dude, he also had a broken foot. He did all that with a broken foot. And, like, it wasn't like Rebecca was on top, landing clean. Like, first off, he never got into the full crucifix position that he needed to get into. But even from guard, Ludovic was landing elbows and splitting him open from the bottom. So it's like 10-9, sure. Give it to Rebecca. But 10-8, a little crazy.
Honestly, I was kind of 50-50, honestly, 10-8 or not. Like, I think you can argue either side, but 2 judges give round 3 a 10-8. So at the end of the day, it should have been a draw, because the round 2, there's no way it should have been a 10-8 for Klein. Just no way. So it's annoying when you lose these type of bets, but it is what it is, I guess. But what about Quinlan?
Yep. Southfield and Dern to the moon.
KO of the year.
That was a scary knockout, honestly.
Yeah.
That was a scary knockout.
He didn't move for a while. Me and my buddy were sitting on the couch, and I was like, "Yo, he's like his eyes aren't even open yet. Like his eyes are closed. So it turns he might be dead."
Next up, give us Renato Moicano. We're about to put another body on the floor.
Yeah, right. Renato's never going to take that fight, bro. That would be the craziest one. But all right, let's get in this card. We're back in the Apex for the next 2 weeks before we go to MSG, I believe it is. All right, let's see what we got. First card of the night we have is Toledo Alencar versus Ariane Carnelossi. Carnelossi's 15-3. Toledo Alencar is 6-1. Odds in these two ladies, you can get Alencar minus 220. You get Carnelossi plus 185. Key, low-level girls fight. We'll have you go first, even though I know I have the expert opinion on this one, but you could take it away. Go ahead. What do you think?
I think that Alencar could look very wide here. Once fight hits the mat, it's obvious levels, but I think that Alencar.
Bro, he's so confused. Have you seen his face? He's like, bro, you're not supposed to say that.
Literally. But I think that Alencar.
I'm trying to find the card on UFC websites so I could do her feet.
But I think that Alencar is still more of a BJJ practitioner more than she is a fighter, if that makes sense. I think that there's still some holes in the striking. She got a very favorable matchup, and anybody who played her against Vanessa got a great line and was able to make some money off of that. Vanessa
minus 110, bro. Crazy.
Yeah. So I think that Toledo was going to look great in that spot where they're going to play BJJ pretty much the whole time. And Vanessa was, very willing to pull guard. But versus real people, I still don't think that Alencar is that good. But on the mat here, Carnelossi is a 14% takedown defense, and albeit against much better wrestlers in Pierre Rodriguez and Lupi, but still bad looks to see that that's still something that even after a 2-year layoff, she still did not come back like super improved on the mat. Like we didn't see some crazy improvements, and we saw her get bonked even by Pierre. So for that, it's kind of just a weird spot. I know that there's a lot of people on Carnelossi, but for me, I think that this kind of could feel like a sort of false dog play here where you could end up seeing Carnelossi coming on late, Alencar not being able to get takedowns. But I think on the mat here, I mean, Alencar absolutely does whatever she wants to her. I'm interested to see what our guest BJJ specialist has to say about a fight like this.
Take it away, Paul. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't have too much of a strong opinion here. I mean, obviously the blueprint for Alencar is there. We've seen Carnelossi taken down with ease against somewhat decent wrestlers. I don't think Alencar has the best wrestling, but if she does get it there, I think she'll be able to control her fairly easily. She's got a really high-level no-gi Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game. Obviously, I'm not going to lay the minus 200 here. The time to play her was against Demopoulos at near evens, not here against someone who is going to come on strong. And if you let her stay in the fight too long, she is going to make it a dog fight. And obviously, Talita Alencar has little to no striking. So any time spent on the feet is a concern for her. But I mean, I do think she's going to get this done. I think that she probably rides out a decision. I mean, this kind of could look sort of like I don't want to, maybe a little recency, but kind of like the Amarim and Mizuki fight. You know, Amarim should have gotten easy takedowns, but as she got a little more tired, the takedowns came a lot. They came not as easy, and Mizuki was able to ride out top time to a decision. So, you know, Talita Alencar's gas really seems questionable. So if Carnelossi is able to put a pace on her, maybe she can just ride out and take over as the fight goes on. But I think this should be Alencar top time to a decision.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned the Mizuki bet. I'm a Mizuki truther. I also played round 3, like plus 5,000 for her to win. It was close. But I think kind of what you said is the exact point. Is kind of why I said this is like exactly what I was going to say. We're getting the same. I'm calling it the Mizuki system play because it's almost like we have the same thing here. Sure, Carnelossi has lesser takedown defense than Mizuki does, but you got to assume she's working on it. She is a black belt in her own. And Alencar, if she can't get these takedowns, she gets tired quickly. And, I mean, this girl Carnelossi is going to brutalize her. I mean, she's a brute girl. I mean, look how jacked she is from her photos. Like, striking is levels there, pretty much just as big as levels as there are on the ground for Alencar here. But, like, Carnelossi also fights to get back up. And I don't know. I just think, like, +200. I got +215 on it. I thought it was super. I thought it's pretty wide here because it's like, say Alencar doesn't get takedowns, this fight looks completely different. If she does get the takedowns, you lose your bet. It is what it is. But like, I don't think Alencar is getting her down and submitting her. Maybe she's top timing her, but then round 2 starts, round 3 starts. Like, if she can't get those takedowns or she's more tired, like, I don't know. +200 could look good. So. Yeah, I'm on Carnelossi for like 1.5 units on +215. What do you think, Drav?
Yeah, it's kind of a hard fight to call, honestly, because like you guys said, the takedown defense of Carnelossi is really bad. I think it's 15%. But then my counter argument to this would be to Peg point about the, a Carnelossi bet is like Alencar takedown accuracy is 20%. So like she's not a great wrestler and she's small. So, like, our takedown offense is not good, but then Carnelossi takedown defense is not good either. So, it's kind of tricky. And then, like you said, I mean, Carnelossi, the wrestlers she fought and are taking her down easily are much better wrestler. So, it's a tricky fight, honestly, because on the feet, I think Carnelossi is much better. And she's also way more physical, obviously. You can see the difference between the two. one girl looked like a girl, one girl looked like a man. So it tells you what you need to know about this fight in a certain way. Peg, let me ask you this, I guess. What do you think about like a Carnelossi 2-3 or KO 2-3? Because I kind of think he's going to get taken on early, honestly. And then I don't really trust Alencar cardio as the fight extends. So it could be like, honestly, a fight where she's getting taken on easily early and you're like, fuck, why did I bet this? She has bad takedown defense. And then Alencar start to slow down a bit. And then the physicality start to make a difference. And Carnelossi is starting to piecing up on the feet. And I don't know if I have a girl like Carnelossi trying to pressure me and hit me with some big shots, I will be kind of scared. We've seen Alencar, man, the draw she had on Dynamite Contenders, she was almost finished a couple of times, basically.
Yeah.
But, yeah. What do you think about that?
She's a gas tank issue. I love the round 3 finish. And if you go look at Carnelossi's Instagram right now, her most recent photos are all of her in her gi doing jiu-jitsu. So like she knows what she's up against because the levels on the striking and the physicality. By the way, the physicality aspect that I left out is huge here on the Carnelossi side. She's a lot more physical. I mean, listen, you give me plus 200 odds on a girl who looks like this. It looks like Paulo Costa. Like you give me plus 200 on a girl looked like this. I'll take it 10 times out of 10 with 10 different women. I guarantee you I at least hit half the bets just straight off of a girl looking like that fighting an actual woman. So I don't know. I think it's pretty
honestly, that's fair. But yeah, I'm surprised you don't like the spread. It's minus 110 as well on that.
I thought about it. But I was on the money line. I got the money line. That was pretty much my first bet of the week was Carnelossi. And that's crazy to sound coming from me. And like I texted you guys in the group chat about it, and Key was like, "Do not do this to me. Do not start there." But I don't know. I just saw that line right away, and like I saw a lot of people making fun of Carnelossi, so I kind of like looked into it, and I was just like, "Oh, I remember who this chick is." And then I remembered Alencar because we were talking about the last Onama fight, and that's kind of how I started there. But I was like, "This is super wide, especially if she doesn't get takedowns." So it's like
I lean dog or pass as well, honestly, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna think about it a little bit more. But yeah, to me, it's Carnelossi or pass. But as far as the pick goes, I guess I'll lean with Alencar because she has a clear path to victory. But yeah, I mean, we talk about the market difference, and we're going to talk about this for this next fight. But if I play her at minus 110, the past fight, and then she's minus 250 against a girl that looked like a man, I don't really want to be there.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. And like we're going to get right into this. We're talking about that. We all played Co at plus 300 or plus 400 last fight, and we also played Phil Rowe at plus odds last fight. And now we're looking at Phil Rowe again at plus 170. We're looking at Co now at minus 190. And everything has changed. But Drav, I'm gonna have you go first here. I mean, as we both bet both these guys in their last fights, now we're looking at both of them. You gave out Phil Rowe this week as your free bet of the week. Tell me why. What do you see here that Rowe has that you don't like or you do like about it at plus 175?
Yeah, it's the Fresh Prince, and I think it's funny because when I watch this guy tape, I know what type of striker Key likes, and then sometimes he does a lot of shit that I'm sure Key likes a lot, and then he does a lot of shit that he hates. So I'm sure Key, you have a weird opinion about this dude, like a very weird opinion about him. But yeah, honestly, he's good, man. I mean, I gotta give it to him. The guy is good. And then I would just adjust the market first of all because I play him at plus 350 against O'Brien Elliott, but I also play him Peg at plus 400. On Dynamite Contenders to the fight prior. So the market and the people were just thinking this guy is a bum, like based on his regional tapes. And I did not agree with that. I think he's solid, honestly. Like he's good striker, southpaw. And he didn't really show his wrestling a lot on regional. And then all of a sudden now he wrestled a lot and good judo. He reverse people, stuff like that. If you're trying to grapple him, I mean, he's going to use that against you like he did against O'Brien Elliott. So, yeah, I mean, he looked great against O'Brien Elliott, one of the worst line in UFC history, potentially plus 350, and he looked minus 500. That was a crazy one. One thing about O'Brien Elliott, he's not really physical. He's not big for the division. He doesn't have much power, and he can be taken down. The times he's lost on regional, that's because he got taken down and beat up from top position. People kind of maybe don't know about that, but that's the times he's lost. And then Cole, in that fight, he was outstriking Elliott, and then Elliott was forcing the wrestling, and Cole was using it against him, and he was beating him up from top position. And then as the fight went on, he realized that he had, he was way better on the ground. So he decided to shoot for takedowns. But Oban was the one initially the takedown, and then Ko used that against him, right? The Calvin Canty fight, was it Calvin Canty, like the guy the Brazilian that he fought on?
Igor Cavalcante. Yes,
Yeah.
that's him.
So, I mean, this guy was not proven at all after round one, so he gassed out. Ko got touched up a little bit in that fight, but that was a clean performance overall. So he's a classic, like, South Korean type striker, like hands down, with his chin up in the air, and he can be cracked. I mean, if you go back, the 2 times he's lost, he's been put down, and I don't think he has the best defense. And I think his chin is a little bit weird, honestly. We've not really seen it in the Ardelean fight because, again, he was the much better striker and Ardelean doesn't have much power. But, man, if I think you have a sus chin and you're hittable against Phil Rowe can put you down, man. I'm pretty confident in that. And yeah, I played Phil Rowe last time. He was an underdog at plus 175, I think. I just reposted on Twitter earlier today. But I also had his KO3, massive cash, man. No, he was plus 130 last time out. I had his KO3 plus 2,500. So crazy cash, 10 unit cash. So for me to bet on that fight, it's kind of hard in a certain way because both these guys are my boys. They've made me a lot of money. But if one guy's is still an underdog, I'm going to consider him more than the other one because I like both. But here, I think Fiorello is a better striker, honestly. He's much taller, much longer. Scroll down a bit, Peg. I want to see the reach. I think it's 80 versus 71, if I remember correctly.
It's also a 5-inch. Yeah, it's also
it's a massive reach difference. You guys remember the Lusa fight? Remember the size difference between the two, right? Rowe and Lusa, right? It was a big size difference. The size difference here is going to be the same. The difference is Lusa had 74 inches of reach. Ko has 71. So it's a massive difference, man. So yeah, obviously there's concern about Rowe. Like sometimes he's lazy. He can be taken down. He play off his back. I don't like to see that. I think Ko can take him down and maybe I think he can have some tough time in that fight, honestly. That's one fight I see him. And then maybe he can compete on the feet. Maybe he can crack Rowe. Rowe has been hurt himself. But Rowe, to his credit, he has really good recovery. The 2 times I've seen Ko hurt, he's gotten finish after that. So here, the way I see it is you gave me a guy that's way more proven in the UFC, who I think is a better striker, who has more power, who has the reach, the size advantage over you, the power advantage over you. And Fiorello, his right hand down the pipe is a laser. I said that in the Lusa fight. It's a laser. When he hits you with that, you're gonna be hurt, man. You're gonna be hurt. And he has a really good jab as well, and a really nice clinch work. Like the Angel Lusa fight, the finish in that fight was pretty impressive. Lusa never been finished prior. He fought guys like GDM, and a lot of good guys, right? Never been finished. He's been hurt before, but he's really tough. So the fact that he finished him was pretty impressive to me, honestly. And then he got taken down in that fight. But I think Lusa is a stronger wrestler than Ko, and I don't think he used the same type of wrestling. So yeah, I'm not sure Ko was stronger than Elliott. I'm not sure he's going to be stronger than Rowe. And if he doesn't ragdoll him on the mat, which I don't think he will, then on the feet, it's probably close. But I think Rowe has more big moments upside, and I think he has more KO upside. And I think he can expose the striking defense of Ko when he's going to land down the pipe and when Rowe is reckless rushing in. So yeah, I think Rowe can put him down, honestly. It's kind of hard to get to a money line because, he's never won a decision. All of his fights are finishes. But I think he could win a decision based on big moments. But I do think more often than not, he's going to get a knockout if he wins, which, I'm going to be looking into some props here. That's why I didn't bet the money line too big, because I wanted to have other props on that fight. I'm going to wait for commercials and drop them for the guys in the odd choppers. But yeah, I think it's a good spot for Rowe. I think it's a close fight, honestly. I think it should be close to pick him. Bigger guy, better striker, more power. And I think he has more finishing upside. I don't think Ko finish him. I think if Ko win, he probably get a couple takedowns, some top time, and he could win. He could look like a big favorite, but Rowe, sometimes his takedown defense look great. Sometimes his get up is nice. Sometimes it's really bad. So it's kind of hard to gauge, honestly. But then the type of takedown that Ko go for, it's normally not what Rowe get taken down by. So yeah, it's a really interesting fight at the end of the day. But I'm going to go with Rowe for the upset here in this one. But I'm excited to see how it's going to play out and excited to hear you guys' opinion.
Yeah, I got Rowe money line, and spread of the week is Phil Rowe plus 3.5. I mean, listen, we played a guy at plus 400. Now we're getting him at minus 200. I think it's also a step up in competition. Rowe has fought the better strength of schedule between Oban and Co. So it's like, mine doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, Phil Rowe is like allergic to getting taken down in the middle of the mat. Then he'll play jiu-jitsu and sit on his back for the whole round. So like that could be the issue. But like Kota isn't wrestled traditionally, if you look at it, right? Most of his stuff is from that Sambo background that he has. Isn't he like the first Korean Sambo world champion too? Or am I thinking of someone different? But I'm pretty sure it's him. That being said, Peg does the real research. That being said, like, I don't know. I feel like we've seen him knocked out before. Phil Rowe knows what he's getting. This is a southpaw fight, right? So Phil Rowe teased on like his Instagram, if you follow him, that, he brought in a bunch of southpaws for this camp. He's got a good coach. His pocket boxing's gotten a lot better. I don't know. I think it's going to look good, especially with the range. I mean, keep him away with the jab and it looks pretty good. Paul, what are you thinking for this one?
Yeah, like Drav said, Phil Rowe, he just sometimes you don't know what you're going to get from him. Out of his 7 UFC fights, I think I've only had one bet on him in a fight, and it was Jake Matthews against him. He's just someone that's tough to like get a read on. You never know how he's going to perform. A lot of his fights, he's losing up until he's winning. The Kosi fight, he lost the first round, and then he got the finish in the second round. I'm pretty sure Nico Price was 1-1 going into the third. He was down on the scorecards on Lusa. And I feel like his power is getting just a little bit overrated. The Jason Witt fight, everyone really knocks out Jason Witt. But the other 3 knockouts, it's all like attritional knockouts that guys are getting like just completely gassed. Kosi was completely done after round 1. Nico Price was gassed out after round 2. Lusa was completely gassed out. I don't think Phil Rowe doesn't have any power, but I think his power is getting just a little bit overrated. Whereas Ko, yeah, he's an okay wrestler, he's an okay striker, he's a nice, well-rounded guy. But a lot of his takedowns are like in the clinch and like kind of like judo trips and judo throws. Which is very tough to do against someone who's a lot taller and bigger than you, especially in the clinch. I don't think he's going to have as easy as a time as he did against Oban Elliott taking down Phil Rowe. He did hit a nice double leg against Cavalcanti, but Cavalcanti seemed pretty gassed out after round 1, so it might have came a little easier than it might against Rowe. Yeah, for me, it would be a dog or pass just because of the big recency bias coming from playing plus 400 on Co to now minus 200. I kind of leaned the over. I kind of liked it at like minus 125. It kind of moved a little bit. I think Co's path is a top time based decision. Co likes to kind of skirt on the outside. I think this can be a lot of staring in this fight where Co is just trying to evade and maybe dart in with a couple punches. Co has been knocked out a couple times, so that's a worry. But if anything, it would be a over 2.5 play for me. It was like minus 200 against Lusa last fight, so now it would have been at minus 125. I think that might have been a good play. But as money's coming in on it, I'm a little less tempted on it.
All right, Keith, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, Co I was like kind of low on, but the Oban Elliott fight was really impressive. Phil Rowe, I love him at moments, but then like you just don't know what you're gonna get, as the rest of the panel has said so far. I can't say that in context of him. It's not like he's the minus 200 favorite here and you're betting on if you're going to get a good performance or not. So those concerns kind of can somewhat go out of the door whenever you're backing him at a number like this, of plus 175s, and you're taking big dog shots. You kind of are already somewhat baking in that sort of volatility. The issue I have with Phil Rowe is that, one, I think that he rates himself a little bit more than he should, which is somewhat makes him who he is as a fighter. And I like him on the feet whenever he is having a little bit of swag and bounce to him, is getting into a rhythm. But it just takes him, one, a little bit to get there. Usually it takes for him to get bonked, which I hate. And two, I just think that he's better than all of these guys. Like Jake Matthews, I think if Phil Rowe is like truly putting together a solid MMA game, like he beats Jake Matthews. There's no reason you should be losing to Neil Magny, I'll be honest. The Nico Price fight, why are you going life and death with the ghost of Nico Price and 2 knee braces and slow as ever? Like, I hate that. Like, the Angelusa fight, I think that he is just so much of a better fighter than these guys, but yet he manages ways to make it look somewhat competitive or close in every fight. So for me, I think that I'm not expecting the 35-year-old to like magically have turned the corner and all of a sudden he's going to like be this great fast starter that cleans up on all of his IQ issues. Like, the guy's takedown defense has been awful his whole career. He plays off of his back, and I get it. At Fusion XL, that's what they love to do. Mike Davis turned into fucking Ryan Hall for that one performance. So at Fusion XL, there's just bad game planning, it seems sometimes, but they've been on a solid run this year for what it's worth. But I don't rate the game planning and the fighters over there that much. So I expect for Rowe to play off of his back and do what he's comfortable whenever he is taken to the mat. So I don't expect to see him fight the hands and show a bunch of urgency to get up. I expect for him to have a lot of confidence in his BJJ off of his back and try to set up some stuff. And it'll fail in burn time, and you just see your money line bet just dying off as he continues to play off of his back. On the feet, Phil could be absolutely great. Like, I think that he has a lot of tools and traits that translate really well for the upper end of this weight class. But the guy just, one, his chin is not the greatest. His recovery is, well, he's a fighter. He's a dog. So you do like that. He can go to hell and come back. But I don't like that he goes to hell versus people that I think he is just superior than. So pick his Co. I think that Co wrestles him here. Co through top time. I think Co gets it done. I don't have a side from a betting standpoint, but Co's the pick for me.
To your point, he fight to his level of competition though. So when he's a underdog, it's kind of good because he's not gonna like get, I don't know how to say that. Like, if you fight against a lower level guy, he's gonna fight close with him, which you don't like. But if you fight against a higher level guy, which maybe Co is, we don't really know, right? But he's gonna fight close with him as well. Like, he's not gonna get just beat the fuck up unless he get just top time to hell or something. So I like to see that, honestly. And I just think I disagree with the power being overrated. I think this guy in his right hand, he's a fucking laser, man. Even like Jake Matthews, he buzzed him with a couple shots. Like, you can see the reaction in his face that he had. Like, he didn't react well. And it's also because he's so long, 80 inches of reach. Like, the size difference is going to be massive here. But yeah, I'm interested to see what's going to play out. But yeah, it's a good fight.
All right. Next fight, the little girls' fight. Ardelean versus Montserrat Ruiz, 10-4 versus 10-7. Odds on these two ladies, you can get Ardelean minus 400. You get Montserrat plus 300. You know, Montserrat finished in the first round her last 3 fights. Ardelean, I don't even know how to explain this. Low-level girls fight. Paul, I'm going to have you start this one, unfortunately. How do you think this fight goes? Does Ardelean find a finish here?
Honestly, I don't think so. I don't think she has much finishing instincts, to be honest. Honestly, this was the one fight I didn't look into just because I feel like everyone knows Montserrat Ruiz without even looking into her. Like, you know, she's just gonna go for that scarf hold, head and arm throw, and she's just gonna try and ride out the position from there. I mean, it's such a low level skill. I think Alice Ardelean is much physical enough, and she's got pretty like heavy hips. She seems like she's not going to really be able to get thrown from that. I think she's the miles better striker here. I think if she wants, she can probably get takedowns too. She probably rides out a decision here, but I mean, Ruiz's losses are like really high level girls in like the UFC, so you don't really know. She's never going to beat any of them 3, so you don't really know exactly what her ceiling is. But I can't imagine it's any good, and she probably gets a 4th loss in a row and probably gets cut from the UFC after this one.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I don't know. I think Ardelean could even find a finish here. I mean, this girl's been finished in the first round of her last 3 fights. Unless she's change.
That's not even true. Just so we don't say bullshit. She's been finished one time in round 1. The 2 other times was in round 2 and in round 3. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. So it wasn't the first round. She's been finishing their past 3 fights. I mean, sure, I guess it's against Amanda Lemos, Eduardo Mora, who's pretty good, and Amarim, who we just saw lose. But I don't know. She's getting finished by girls at this point. Like, what do she have left in her career? I mean, she's 32 years old? I don't know. I don't rate it too much. I think maybe Fight Doesn't Go could be a good look at plus 190. But outside of that, picking a side, I guess you got to go with Ardelean, as disgusting as it sounds. What do you think, Key?
Yeah, I assumed that Ruiz was done. Honestly, after this layoff, I thought that her contract was cooked. She was 1-3 in the UFC. I'm not sure why she's still around, but Ardelean, I had a plus 230 ticket again with her against Shauna Bannon. I'd love to see that rebooked because I think that this version of Ardelean beats her now, and Ardelean's gotten better. Like, her regional tape before her debut was just like her, like, random bonking these random European women and just being super aggressive. And now, after being at Fusion XL, and this does give Fusion XL some props, after being at Fusion XL for a little bit, she's started to, like, actually have some semblance of, like, an MMA game. Like, she's actually trying to have some sort of process. So her boxing's gotten a lot better. She's putting together combinations. 154 significant strikes against Rayani Dos Santos. And Rayani is not, like, awful. That was an Invicta champion at one time. So you're talking about her beating a decent girl. I think that here, Ardelean should get it done. I don't think that she gets a finish because Ruiz can probably weasel her way into holding on through some grappling situations. So I'm not playing finish props. I don't think that you should be parlaying Ardelean. Ardelean is not a minus 400 fighter against anybody at the UFC level. So no parlays with her. I think that this is a nice pass fight, and you can watch and see for yourself.
Drav, you got anything different here?
What do you mean by that, Key?
There's good MMA going on. That's what I say. Paul said it all whenever he said that she had heavy hips.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say. I think Ardelean should win. Maybe a finish is a life peg. I do agree, but I kind of lean decision. But I do think she could maybe finish her just because of the layoff. And Ruiz is just not good, man. She has one move in MMA, and that's it. And she's small as well. So Ardelean should win pretty easily, but I'm not sure if she finished or not. But I lean decision.
All right, next fight, another girls' fight.
Speaking of heavy ass hips,
yeah, as I said, another dump truck here. Norma Dumont, 12-2 versus Caitlin Viera, 15-4. Caitlin Viera is 34. I always mess her up with Caitlin Souza. And then Norma Dumont is 12-2. Odds on these two ladies, you can get Dumont minus 163. You can get Caitlin Viera plus 143. Drav, I'll have you go first here. I mean, who are you siding with?
I'll lean Dumont, honestly. I think she's the better striker of the two. She's faster as well. I've noticed that there's going to be a big speed edge for Norma here. And also, she's just doing more these days. She throws more volume than Viera. And I think her last performance, she looked career best, honestly, against Aldana, who's a pressure boxer with power. And we know when Aldana fought Viera, not to do MMA math over here, but she put her all cold. We don't really see that too often in women's MMA. And yeah, Dumont just outworked her. Looked pretty good, honestly. And one thing I'll say about Dumont, she's been out for a couple of months, and she's been training and grinding at Shooter Box these last couple of months. So, and she looked to be in really good shape. So I think she's gonna come back looking great here. And that's after her having her best performance their last fight when she was not at Shooter Box. So I think we could see even more improvements here. And now the thing is, like, I think Viera can maybe win some minute in the clinch. She can maybe take her down and do some top time. But I think Dumont takedown defense is good, honestly. She can lose minutes of the clinch sometimes, which I don't like. But the thing with Viera is there's always some weird moments in her fight. Even in the fight she win, like the fight she got knocked out by Aldana, obviously not great. And then if you go back and you watch the fight against Yana Santos in round 3, I'm sure Key's going to know what I'm talking about. She's winning round 3, like clear, top time, doing everything. There's like 20 seconds left. She ended up on bottom. Yana Santos just threw, 3-4 big elbows. Viera doesn't react well, get cut, all blood's coming over. And after that, it looked like she's crying in the corner after the fight is over. And you can see she doesn't like, I don't know how to explain it, but it looked like she doesn't like a firefighter. She doesn't like getting hit too hard, or I don't know, man. It was elbows, to be fair, but there's this fight in late round 3, and she lost that fight because of that, right? So that's one. And then I think also she missed weight in that fight. And then there was also the fight against I don't remember which one it was. Oh, the Macy Chiasson fight, her last fight, right? It was in round 3. She was winning clearly, right? Looking great. And then at the end of round 3, Macy decided to, to come at her, pressure her, land a couple of elbows. I think she caught her again, if I remember correctly. And you can see Viera is not comfortable. Not to say Dumont's gonna like pressure cook her or elbow her. Or, I don't think that's what's gonna happen. But I think Dumont is fast and has underrated power and is gonna hit her multiple times. And if she hit her as much as she hit Aldana, was very tough. I don't know how Viera's gonna take that, honestly. So I think Dumont is the rightful favorite here. I do agree with the line. And I think a sneaky prop of the week could be maybe Dumont is live to get her first knockout here, honestly. Viera has been knocked out before, has been hurt before. Dumont, faster striker, more volumes, going to throw a lot, more power, and improving at shooter box. So I do think a KO could be on the table here. Would I play it or not? I'm not sure. I'm going to see what the commercial prices is, but I think Dumont is the rightful favorite here, honestly. And she's just more consistent over the last couple of years. Winning. And then Viera, obviously she lost to some good competition, but there's always some weird moments in her fight that I don't like, and I don't rate her that much, honestly. So I just not high on her. She's good, but I don't know, man.
Key, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that Ketlin is like, I echo a lot of what Drav was saying. Is weird. She's kind of like a weird mental head case at times. Like, she has all the tools physically. She is like very much like body wise, like projects as a champion, like is of the upper tier physically in this division. But then she has moments where she looks decent. And then there's moments where she just falls apart for random reasons. And it just does not make sense to me. I don't think that she's bad, but I also think that she's just not getting the most out of like her tools. She had a couple times where she ripped to the body against Macy that looked really good, and it was like, why not more? Like, why? Like, what is stopping you? Like, what is possibly stopping you from continuing on? And I think that she could go downhill a lot more, but she just doesn't. So it'll be interesting to see what she looks like here after getting a win under her belt. I don't think that she gave Kayla Harrison the toughest fight out of anybody so far, and that's not saying much, but that's for what it's worth and goes to show her takedown defense is very solid. Dumont's not going to get takedowns here. I don't think that that's an option, which was kind of a deterrent for me of playing Dumont at minus 170. I would like for her to have at least a little bit of wrestling upside, but Ketlin, if anybody, probably is the one that has grappling upside in this fight. From a striking perspective, I think Dumont's just the busier girl and the faster girl, but I've only seen Dumont truly fight that way for one fight against Irene Aldana, which was kind of surprising because I thought that she would have been way, way more, and I know she went 0 for 5, but I thought that she would have been way, way more game planning to wrestle Aldana. But she put on a really, really nice performance, danced around, showed some improvements in the pocket boxing-wise. She was rolling under shots, coming up, firing. She found some comfort in the pocket, which is something that I think that it hasn't been a hole in her game, but definitely not something that's been shown at that level. But I do think that this being in a small octagon definitely benefits Ketlin. She has more chances to cage push. And at times Dumont has shown the not the dumb IQ, but she just hasn't shown all the urgency that I'd like to see getting off of the cage whenever she gets cage pushed. So I think that this ends up a 29-28 decision. I'm not super confident, but I do think Dumont gets it done. I'm not willing to back her at -170. But I do think that she gets it done. I think that I'm interested to see if this was a bigger cage, I would easily would probably like Dumont a lot more. As she just put on a great performance in a big cage at UFC Noche against Aldana, and that was obviously part of the advantage, was her having so much real estate to dance around in. And Viera, she's not going to have that. Viera is always a thin margins type of fighter. I don't find interest in betting her here. So Dumont, I think, gets it done. I think value is probably going on money line at this point. So it's a pass fight for me. I think it ends up 29-28 Dumont. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one of the key things too is, like, I feel like for Caitlin to have success, she has to be able to be a bully, right? And Norm is not a girl who's going to get bullied, I don't think. So it's pretty straightforward from that standpoint. I don't know. Seems pretty straightforward. Dumont, the only issue I had with Dumont, why I really couldn't get there and bet her, is just because some of her performances are pretty inconsistent. Like, I think I bet her last fight when she looked good, but then, like, you go back and look at some of her tape, like some of the fights, even though she is winning, she doesn't look like the best. So you don't really know what version of her you're going to get. Caitlin is pretty consistent with what she comes with, which is just a bullying mentality. So I don't know. Seems like normal or pass, I guess, at this rate, but I got no interest in betting it. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, when I look at this fight, I picture it in my head, I kind of feel like it's gonna play out. You know, I played Ketlin Vieira here at +125. I kind of got a little reversed here. Obviously the Aldana performance for Dumont was an incredible performance, but I mean, as we've seen with a lot of, like, Aldana and Alexa Grasso, like, they're not able to cut off, like, the cage. So, like, people with really good footwork are able to just kind of move around them and dart in and out when they want. And that's what Dumont was doing the whole fight, moving around. Aldana wasn't able to catch her, and then Dumont would just come in with a really fast combination and then get back out. I feel like this is kind of going to look a lot more like the Carol Rosa fight, where they kind of just stared at each other a lot. There was a lot of cage pushing. Um, and, like, if you look at, like, Ketlin Vieira, like, I mean, outside of Kayla Harrison, who has ever really dominated her on minutes? Like, no one in the UFC really has. And, I mean, you can even make an argument that, I mean, the Kayla Harrison fight, it seemed like a 29-28. I know two judges gave her 30-27, but it seemed like it was a decently close fight, especially on the obviously on the feet. But like Ketlin Vieira as an underdog, she's like 5-2 in the UFC. I mean, the like, she performs well as an underdog. You look at the Rocky Pennington fight. I mean, Rocky's known for having a really good clinch game. Ketlin Vieira, I think, out clinched her like 2-1 on control time, so I think she can win minutes there. Obviously, I give the striking advantage to Dumont. I think she's a little bit faster, but I do like the way Ketlin Vieira throws in combinations. I think that she's a little more crisp with her combinations. Um, Dumont will throw a lot of naked leg kicks, and Ketlin Vieira has been able to counter a lot of them. I think she's going to be able to get her with a jab as Dumont kind of engages in leg kicks. And I think that Ketlin Vieira is just going to be the one that's coming forward, backing Dumont up, trying to get her in the clinch and just trying to work. I think Ketlin Vieira probably, if anyone's going to be able to get a takedown, it's probably Vieira. I think both girls have fairly decent takedown defense. But I do trust Ketlin Vieira's offensive wrestling just a little bit more. So yeah, it's hard for me to picture either of these fighters really looking like a -200 favorite. So at the +125, and especially now like the +140, I think that a small Ketlin Vieira play is warranted.
All right, that sounds good there. I don't know. This is just a lot of girl fights in this card. Moving on. Cedric Dummas versus Dante Johnson. I mean, he's back after, I guess, his nuts have healed here. He's +285, and Dante Johnson is -350. Key, this is your boy. I mean, is the hood back or what?
We are so back. I think that Dumas head kicks him into fucking oblivion here.
Actually,
I think that it's live. Dumas has had some head kick KOs before. I think that here Dante gets it done. Dumas is allergic to getting touched for whatever reason. And the signs were not there on regionals. Like he didn't show this bad of like reactions to getting hit. I feel bad for the guy. Excuse me, because I got hiccups. But I feel bad for the guy because he was talking about last fight. He was taking the fight just to get his dad a headstone for his grave. Then he posted that he did get that, and he only had $12 in his bank account on fight week and shit like that. It feels kind of nasty that you're fighting in the biggest organization in the world, and yet these are your realities. But I think that the guy is beyond fucked up mentally. I think that, I mean, this guy was seriously talking about that he was coming for Anthony Johnson's KO record by the end of his career, like being in all seriousness, like it's insane shit. So, I mean, head kick KO gets us off to a good start. I see nothing wrong with it. I think the Dumas money line could feed families here. But in all seriousness, though, Dante Johnson round one most likely. But if Dumas does get a head kick KO, clip this video and understand that this will be immortalized in YouTube MMA history. So Dumas by head kick KO is my pick, and I'm not betting him.
Yeah, Dante Johnson round one is plus 130. Probably seems like value in hindsight. I mean, like you said, Dumas is allergic to getting hit. Dante Johnson he fought at light heavyweight. Now he's down here at 185. He's going to swarm him, hit him a bunch, and probably knock him out. What do you think, Drav?
Yeah, I know his weight cut's doing good. He's going to be all right making 185. The only issue I have is he was so much faster than these guys up a weight class. So I don't know how that speed's going to be at 185. He's not going to be as fast probably. And then the head kick is there, man. The head kick is there. Johnson has been knocked out on the regional by a head kick. And, I don't think his cardio is bad, honestly. He's went 3 rounds in amateur. It was 9 minutes fight because it was 3 minutes rounds, obviously. But his cardio looked great. He did wrestle a lot in that fight, honestly. But, yeah, I mean, I think Johnson is good, honestly. I think he has the power to knock him out. And I don't think Dumas has, like, a bad chin. He just doesn't like getting hit. That's kind of the issue. So I feel like he's going to get cracked hard early, and then from here he's probably going to fall over. So, yeah, I think that Johnson's going to knock him out early. But I could see Dumas catching him with a big shot. It's UFC debut as well. First fight at 185. He could get caught.
Yeah.
What do you think, Paul? What do you got for this one? You think?
Yeah, not too much different to add. I mean, narrative wise, honestly, I feel like Dumas is probably just showing up for a paycheck, to be honest. The whole $17 in his bank account. He doesn't really seem like he's taking his career seriously. Like if he was taking his career seriously, he would probably like sign a fight for like a 6-week camp, not taking a week notice fight against an undefeated fighter who the UFC was trying to give the Nick Klein treatment to. Like they're obviously trying to get Dante Johnson a win. So Dumas, to me, feels like he's just coming in here just to try and take a paycheck, and maybe get his walking papers after, I mean, and then skill-wise, I mean, Dante Johnson, I think, is much more athletic than him. I think he's the much better boxer. I don't think Dumas really is much of a boxer. He's got some decent kicks, and maybe the range can give him some fits. But Dumas does most of his work in the wrestling, and I don't even think he's the better wrestler here. So I think Dante Johnson probably has him covered here. I mean, the line is probably fair at where it is right now.
All right. Let's take a look here. Next fight we have is Timmy Cuamba versus Chang Ho Lee. Chang Ho Lee is 11-1. Timmy Cuamba is 9-3. Chang Ho Lee is anywhere from plus 100 to like minus 108. Timmy Cuamba minus 118. Drav, I'm going to have you go first here. I mean, I know Key's not a fan of Timmy Cuamba. I'm not a fan of Timmy Cuamba. I'm not sure if anyone's a fan of Timmy Cuamba. I mean, if there's someone is, you can let me know, but I think Chang Ho Lee's going to dominate here. Do you disagree?
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna dominate, honestly. I think it's gonna be a close fight, a way or another. I think if you play the dog, you're making the right bet. Yeah. First of all, it's the first fight of Cuamba dropping down to bantamweight for the first time ever in his career. So I'm not sure how that's gonna play out. He was not a big 145er, but he had fight at lightweight and fight at featherweight before. So him dropping down to 135. First of all, I think his takedown defense is good, and I think he's stronger than Lee. So down a weight class, he can help him in this matchup. But then the opposite to this could be it might affect his cardio if the weight cut is not going good. And Lee is the type of guy that you don't want to slow down against. And not to say Cuamba has never shown bad cardio in the past, but if a weight cut is not looking good and you're getting pace like Lee's gonna look to do, it's not gonna be good. But yeah, the way I see this fight, Cuamba's the much better striker. He's much faster and he has decent takedown defense. The fight on Dynamite Contenders is against Vogel, who's a similar fighter. Peg, is that you? Can you guys can you both mute your mic during the breakdown just because there's echo in the background, I think, by both of you guys. But yeah, the way I see it is I think Columbus can outstrike him pretty easily in the sense that Lee is very hittable and he's reckless when he strike. And Columbus is going to have a speed advantage in this fight. But then Lee's going to shoot a lot of takedowns, man. And when he gets on top, he's really dangerous. My problem, what I'm not sure about is he going to get a lot of takedowns here? I don't know, man. And his top control is not really good, but his ground and pound is really good. He's good from the mount. He's good from the back. And the Vogel fight, Cuamba did good in round 1 and 2. Then in round 3, he got his back taken, and he's been submitted before. So Lee's really good on the back and on the back position. So I think Lee can maybe get on top, maybe take the back, then maybe find a finish. But then sometimes he just lose position and he can be taking down himself. And Cuamba, I don't like that he wrestle a lot. I think every fight minus the Volga one on Dynamite Contender Series, he attempted like 5 takedowns. So if he does that here, I kind of think that he's probably going to end up being in too many wrestling exchanges. And as the fight goes, I think that's going to favor Lee because Lee has really good cardio, really good pace and pressure. I've cashed on him round 2 in his last fight, 1100. Was a good bet because I think it's the type of guy you want to have as an underdog. So I mean, if you play him as a dog, I understand. But if Cuamba's the dog, I think he's the side. I think it's a 50-50 fight, honestly. I'll lean Cuamba just because I think he has more of a path to look like a big favorite, honestly. But man, I'm not confident about this fight. It's a pass for me, but I'm gonna pick Cuamba gun to my head.
Yeah, I tend to have an opinion here. I think I like Chang Ho Lee here, definitely, because a small cage helps him out, right? In the sense of his in the grappling department. I think he'll be able to get his wrestling game going here. We talk about volume, pace, and pressure. Those are all things that favor Chang Ho Lee. Timmy Cuamba is low volume and kind of low optics at times, and Chang Ho Lee is just going to build, snowball, and beat him up big time over the course of 15 minutes. So, like, I think this just is like we watched Chang Ho Lee attack Cortavius Romeus, I think, right? I think that was his name.
Yeah.
And then another guy was Long Zhao. Long Zhao is another big guy who's looked pretty good so far. I just think this is just like people don't know Chang Ho Lee, so the odds are what they are. But now that people are actually sitting down, watching tape, getting in front of the computer, they're seeing like, oh shit, this guy's a constant pace, constant pressure, can strike, can grapple, everything like that. Timmy Cuamba, relatively underwhelming most of his fights. He finally pulled off his first win. Now he's dropping down in weight to fight, and I don't think like Chang Ho Lee isn't a small 135er. He's 5'8". So, like, yeah, Timmy Cuamba looked small at 145, but, like, I'm not sure if this is the right plan or what it is. I don't know. I think Chang Ho Lee's going to dominate here. I think anywhere plus odds is fine for me. What are you thinking, Key?
Yeah, I lean Chang Ho Lee, but I have no opinion on this fight. Both of these guys are kind of somewhat nothing burgers to me, honestly. And I don't want to say nothing burgers because both guys have somewhat decent skills, and I do like that Chang Ho Lee is a grinder. But at this point, he's 31 years old. What's the real upside here? He grinds out a couple more UFC wins than what Cuamba at least has a little bit of upside left. Is a pass for me.
Paul, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm on the other side here. I'm actually pretty pretty convicted on the Timmy Cuamba side. I played him at -115.
All right.
I like the move down to.
All right. I think he just got cut out or disconnected.
I'm not sure what's going on with my friggin' connection.
We can hear you now.
All right. So yeah, I mean, Long Zhao was kind of beating Chang Ho Lee's ass in the first round. He was tagging him up, and then Zhao Long fell into Chang Ho Lee's game and was just kept clinching up with him and getting worn on with the knees. I think the Cortavius Romeus fight was just a really great matchup for Chang Ho Lee, someone who makes a lot of mistakes in the grappling. I actually think this is kind of a step up for Chang Ho Lee against Timmy Cuamba. Timmy Cuamba has really good footwork. I think he's going to be able to kind of get fits moving away from Chang Ho Lee. I think the speed in the boxing is going to be huge. And Timmy Cuamba kind of faced similar matchups to Chang Ho Lee and Mateo Vogel and Roberto Romero, two guys that are just pressure fighters that want to get you against the clinch, trying to work some takedowns. And work their top team. And, Timmy Cuamba beat both of them. I mean, the Mateo Vogel fight was close, but I mean, he caught Roberto Romero coming in to clinch him up with a huge knee. I don't see why he can't do that here on Chang Ho Lee. I wouldn't love him to, but I think he could get takedowns here. We saw Zhao Pasi on the road to UFC maul Chang Ho Lee for 2 rounds until he gassed out. And I believe the decision he lost in the Chinese regional scene, he got taken down and kind of worked on top too. I do think he's getting better, but yeah, I think Timmy Cuamba is just going to be too fast for him, too strong for him. I don't love how he will get stuck in the clinch a little too long, but I think at -115, I don't mind the play. I think he should be about -150, -160 here, to be honest.
All right. That's that one. Next fight. We got Billy Elekana versus Kevin Christian. Billy Elekana 8-2. Kevin Christian 9-2. Kevin Christian's odds, he is +240. Billy Elekana -280. I mean, Kevin Christian might be the worst UFC fighter I've ever seen, or fighter in general. He's like a freak. He's like 6'7" or something like that. Billy Elekana, they kind of set him up, unfortunately, in the past against Ibo Aslan, Bogdan Guskov. They just brought him in to get beat up. And honestly, I picked Billy Elekana last fight against Ibo Aslan because Aslan is exactly what his name is, ass. So now they're finally doing him a favor, helping him out and giving him a guy who sucks. And I think Billy Elekana walks him here. What I'm trying to figure out is, do you like the over or the under? Key, I'll have you go first.
My bad for having my mic on that whole time. But I'll go with under. I guess feels like fuckery is bound to happen. It's a Kevin Christian fight, but I'm not sure. Kevin Christian is absolutely awful. Elekana just sort of does nothing. It's weird because he does have decent skills. It looks like me. But just for whatever reason does not put things together well. Split decision with Chuck Campbell is tough scenes at this stage. I think that Elekana gets it done. Should be outside of like absolute meme shit happening. I think he should get it done. He's a better fighter here. Not else much to say. I don't know why Kevin Christian's here.
Drav, what are you thinking?
Yeah, everybody's running to fade Christian. They all think he's terrible, and I mean, I don't think he's good at all. But I mean, fading shit with shit sometimes at massive chalk is not a good strategy. I don't think Billy is good either, honestly. Like when he fights, he's close margins. I don't think he's anything special. And Kevin Christian, he's not good, but he's 6'7", and he's been out for the cage for 1 year. So maybe he's coming out here looking a little bit better. And he's just not doing anything on the feet, so that I have an issue with that. But I have seen him flash some power on the feet before and swing some bombs, and he has a good triangle. I'll give him that. He has a good triangle off his back, but that's the only thing he really goes for. So, yeah, I mean, I don't want to bet this fight. I don't think betting Billy at -250 is smart whatsoever. I know people are betting him, but I don't think you can trust either guy, but I don't even know about the total, honestly, because they're both so low volume. So I have no idea what to think about that. And then if Billy get a takedown, Kevin is going to be taken down easily. And then is he going to get a triangle off his back? I mean, he's good at it. I'll give him that. That's the only move he's good at. But 6'7" playoff BJJ off his back is just so weird to me. But I'm just going to say, man, if you're taking a year off with this build, you can come back looking a little bit better. And it's not going to be hard for him to come back and look better than he did in the past. So I'll just say that. But yeah, fuck this fight, man. I don't give a fuck about it.
Okay, Paul, anything from you?
No, I mean, in a division with Marcin Prachnio, Junior Tafa, and Tuco Tokos, Kevin Christian might just be the worst. This guy is just terrible. I kind of lean the over here. That would be the only way I would look to play anything on this fight. Both guys, like Drav said, really low volume. I think Billy Elekana is actually pretty durable. And Kevin Christian, I mean, yeah, this guy, if Billy wants a free win, you just take him down and lay in his guard. I mean, that Italian bum did that for an entire round before he got tired. So yeah, I mean, Billy Elekana should be fine. Maybe let Billy Elekana by decision. I don't know what that's paying, but that might be a little sneaky. But yeah, nothing interests me on this fight. I think this fight's gonna suck, to be honest.
Yeah,
Plus 300. It's not even good. I thought it would be better.
Yeah,
that's awful. Oh my god.
I thought it would be like 600 or something.
Yeah, no, this isn't really one worth betting. I mean, maybe I would bet Elekana money line in a parlay.
No, let's just not bet this fight, Peg. Don't put anything in your parlay.
Bill Elekana lock this week in a parlay. We'll start there. That's leg one, and we'll finish the parlay by the end of the episode.
I mean, he's gonna win. He's probably gonna win.
I know he's gonna win. That's why I said lock.
Kevin Christian's gonna go out there and do a flying triangle, bro.
Yeah. All right, guys. Moving on to our main card. Like, comment, and subscribe below. We do this every week. We make you guys money. All we ask in return is a subscribe.
I know. I have a question for you guys. So we have a guest locked in for the last pay-per-view of the year. It's gonna be a big guest, but we don't have a guest for the pay-per-view prior. It's a big card. It's a massive event. And I want you guys to let us know in the comments who do you guys would like to have as a guest for one of the biggest card of the year. Which Key, are you going to be there for that one? Just want to make sure because
we confirmed I'll be there for that one. I'll close out both pay-per-views. I'm not sure about everything else though.
Cool, perfect. So I mean, we want a big name, somebody that's never come on the show before, or somebody that you guys have heard on the show before and you've liked. Let us know in the comment because we're also going to try to have a list of people for 2026 when we come back. So just want to know in the comments what you guys would like to have on the pod.
Okay. Main event. I just muted myself for some reason. Next fight, we got Alan Nascimento versus Cody Durden. Cody Durden 17-8. Alan Nascimento is 21-6. This is obviously short notice from this week. Nascimento is minus 250. Cody Durden's plus 210. We got a jiu-jitsu guy versus Cody on short notice. Paul, I'm going to have you start us off. I mean, I like Alan by sub here. I think he finds the finish here on Cody Durden. What do you think?
Yeah, when I looked into it, I mean, it's kind of hard not to see Alan Nascimento finding a way to at least some kind of dominant position, I do think he probably finds the submission on Cody Durden. Cody Durden just seems to put himself in some tricky situations, the Jimmy Flick, the Jake Hadley one is the one, honestly, even though he didn't get submitted, that's the one that really kind of worries me because it was just something right from guard that he just kind of got set up with. The line kind of seems a little bit wide just because Cody Durden is going to be the minute winner, especially on the feet. I think he's going to be the minute winner here. And I think it's going to be tough for Alan Nascimento to find his way to takedowns here. I think he can get sweeps here. And for some reason, something's telling me that Cody Durden is going to come out here and try to wrestle for some reason when he should probably just counter wrestle and try and beat this guy on the feet. So, I don't know, maybe something like a Cody Durden decision only. If the books are kind of sleeping on it, and maybe hang like some kind of like plus 150, plus 160 might be interesting, because I do think if minutes start to rack up, I think Cody Durden may be the one kind of pulling away. But I do, if a pure pick, I do feel like Nascimento is going to find his way to some kind of sweep, probably take the back and probably lock in some kind of choke from there.
Drav, what are you thinking here? Oh, Key, what are you thinking? Then we'll have Drav go.
Elite host. I think that here, it's sad. Durden was a good dude, but no, he's definitely cooked food. I just don't see a path to his career getting back on track of any sort of wins. This is probably his last UFC fight. He's going to end up being 1-5 in his last 6 if he loses this one. That's tough, man. And his only win coming against Matt Schnell, of all people.
Well, no, he won against Jake Hadley, right?
That was Tagir beat him after Jake Hadley. Bruno Silva killed him after that. And then he won against Matt Schnell. Then he lost against Josh Banning.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Listen, also, I will say they're not giving him easy fights.
No, they're not. And so
they're doing him no favors here.
And I hate that he's getting this on short notice. And I know this is Dan's boy from Half the Battle. Make sure you go check out Half the Battle. Always good stuff over there. Good friend of the show. But I just hate that he gets all of these tough matchups, and now he gets this matchup on short notice. I don't like it. I agree with Paul. The best bet here is to counter wrestle and try to keep this on the feet and force it just a fire fight and a dog fight and see what happens. Nascimento is kind of weird to me because, one, I don't think that the guy should be in this weight class. He's fucking massive. Like, he's fucking massive for flyweight. So I have no clue how he's still making the weight. And I know he's had a bunch of pullouts in the past due to it. I'm surprised he hasn't moved up to 135 already because he's huge for 125. So I think the Nascimento gets it done here, but it's a pass fight for me.
All right. Drav doesn't get to go because he's gone. So there's that.
Key, do you think he's going to be able to take Cody Durden down?
I think he could get the back.
I think he goes kind of how Paul said. I think Cody Durden is the one who gets the takedown. Nascimento's okay with that. Nascimento sweeps him. I think it's probably how it goes because Nascimento is sweeping guys like Tagir, right? So
especially with these shoot the box guys, ever since they've started like making these putting a real emphasis on like they brought in a lot of Dagestanis whenever Charles was getting prepared for Islam, but they've all gotten a lot better cage wrestling wise. Charles is obviously, we saw what he did to Gamrot, but these guys, whenever they transition to the back, it's been really, really good stuff from all of them, and they've all sort of taken that jump. So I can see that type of situation playing here.
Yeah, I think that's what Tagir did to Cody Durden too.
Yep.
Let's take a look here. All right. Let's see. Drav come back yet? No, he's not back. All right. You get skipped for this one. We'll have him. We'll bring him back and make him do quick picks. Honestly, it's probably better for everyone. All right. Next fight, we got Chuck Buffalo Radtke versus Daniel Frunza. All right. We got Frunza 9-3. We got Radtke 10-5. Odds on these two gentlemen, you can get Radtke minus 160, Frunza plus 140. I mean, this is just like a night of just ugly fights. I mean, I'll go first and I'll be transparent. I bet fight doesn't go the distance at minus 160. It's pretty much the same price as Radtke. Radtke is a very good black belt. He's levels above Frunza on the mat. If he takes him down and wrestles, he'll probably find a sub. Radtke has a terrible chin. If his chin gets touched, he gets knocked out. But we also watch Radtke knock out Urbina with a left hook. He's got a good left hook and power, so he can knock people out. So we're just talking about KO, sub, 3 different ways to finish someone. Sounds like a finish is coming. The over under is I think 1.5 too. So that's helpful as well. So I kind of just mean fight doesn't go. What do you guys think? Paul, what are you thinking for this?
Yeah, Radtke's actually my biggest bet of the card. I just think he's better everywhere, you know? Like I think he's the much cleaner boxer here, you know? I mean, Reese McKee landed a left hook that damn near knocked out Frunza off the bat. And I don't want to play narrative, but I mean that's Charles Radtke's like favorite combination. Like the 3-2 is Radtke's favorite combination. He lands it on everyone. Frunza, I don't think is going to be hard to find for him. Yeah, it might turn into kind of like a slugfest in the pocket, which would worry me. But I do think that Radtke is the much cleaner boxer. I think he's even more defensively sound. I think he has a giant wrestling edge. I think he might even have a cardio edge. He's definitely the better grappler in my opinion. I think they're both a little bit fragile, but I mean, with all the skill wise, I mean, it's hard for me not to make Radtke closer to like a -200 favorite when I think that Daniel Frunza's really only win condition is just kind of like a meme bonk like early on, you know. So yeah, I like Radtke here. I played him at -150 to win about almost 2 units.
All right. What do you think, Key?
Yeah, Frunza getting dropped 3 times, I believe it was against Ruiz McKee. Nasty work. This is going to be a firefight, though. Good fight to have on the main card. It's going to be violence. We know that. Radtke probably has some wrestling upside if he actually wrestled for once in his life. And not that he's a great wrestler, but he's the much better grappler here. He has power. We know that left hook has real violent intentions on it. I think that Frunza's the better striker in terms of filling space, but he just gets hurt and bonked by everybody. And I just hate that shit. So I think that I think that this ends up probably a weird dick swinging contest, honestly, as crazy as that sounds. But I think that they just sort of end up whoever bonks who first. So for that, I'm passing. Is dog or pass, but also I'm not looking to back a dog that less than, I believe, 6 months ago was getting knocked around the fucking octagon by Reese. So I'll pass.
Yeah, by Reese McKee, the GOAT. I picked Reese McKee there as well. Skeletor. How could you not? Right? All right. Next fight we have is Isaac Dulgarian versus Yedier Del Valle. The Cuban Problem versus the Midwest Choppa. 7-1, 9-0. Good prospect fight. We got Del Valle is +218. We got Dulgarian -250. Key, I'll ask you first. I mean, do you think Isaac Dulgarian's a safe parlay leg here, or is Del Valle going to lock in a sub?
I think Dulgarian gets it done. I am very low on Del Valle, Yadier, whatever the fuck you want to say. I feel like Peg right now, fucking up names.
Yadier Del Valle, I believe it is.
But yeah, I'm low on the guy. I don't think he's that good. I think that he's gotten out of some questionable fights and has gotten probably high rolled a little bit of his career. He accepts bottom position. He's going to go for Gillies. Dulgarian is going to get on top. I expect him to not completely smash. He'll be somewhat competitive. But I do think that Dulgarian gets it done, cleans up again, and hopefully can get really active over this next year or two, because I think he has a chance to make some real noise. And I know that it came to a halt after the C-Rod fight, but I think that he can make a lot of noise in this division. And I think people are starting to forget about him a little bit, but this guy's a real talent. So I think Dulgarian gets back on track here. And because Brendan Marat's not a real fight, I refuse to count that as a real fight. So I think he gets back on track against a real person here. Yeah, I hope that it's not too bad, because I want a real better fade spot on Yadier at plus money or something, because I don't think that this guy's that good. And I will say that till I go to my grave.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think Isaac Dulgarian, well, listen, he's never lost a round one before, right? So that being said, like now you know you're getting 1-0 no matter what. He kind of, after the C-Rod fight, looked like he started, managing his cardio. It's probably completely under control now, I'd imagine. It's just because he used to just go balls to the wall and finish everyone in round one. That's why he used to gas out. And he learned from C-Rod, oh shit, I can't do this to every person. There are people that aren't going to get finished in the first round. So I think we put that together there. Here, the Valle, not that great anywhere. The guy jumps the guillotines. I don't think I really need to carry more there. Good luck doing that against Dulgarian, who's a good wrestler. He'll happily let you jump guillotine. Then you're going to get smashed from the bottom. I guess his only hope is if Dulgarian tires out or he gets a lucky guillotine. So I think Dulgarian's fine. We talked about that parlay from earlier. So Dulgarian and Elekana parlayed together. Probably pretty good if I were to guess. Drav, do you disagree?
Yeah, I think Dulgarian's gonna smash. Honestly, this guy is he's a mini Hamzat Chimaev in round one at featherweight. He's so good, man. He's so good. He's gonna take everybody that's gonna fight. He's gonna take them down in round one and smash them. It's a matter of a fact. Are they gonna be able to survive? Because he's not a lay and pray guy. He has nasty ground and pound. So if they survive, they're gonna take a lot of damage, and it might be a 10-8 because you 10-8 a lot of guys in round one if you survive. And then can you take over from there with all the damage you've taken? Because yeah, Isaac can slow down. I don't think his striking is very good, but he knows that, so he's gonna do what he's good at, and he's really strong. And the Valle's takedown defense is not really good. I've seen him taking down a lot on the regional, and the problem is that he goes for that fucking guillotine all the times. His guillotine is decent, but if you try to go for a guillotine against Isaac, he's gonna use that against you. That's just gonna help him get takedowns. I think the Valle striking is good, honestly. I like his clinch game, and he has better cardio here, but I don't think his cardio is like the best himself. I've seen him slow down in the past. Fight like Mikkel Azwell, for example, he slowed down. There's another fight as well, so it's not like he's not a cardio machine, but his cardio is a little bit better and he's a bit more proven. But if you take a lot of damage early, I'm not sure I can count on him late to put it on Dulgarian. And for what it's worth, I had a bet on Dulgarian against C-Rod. I think he should have won. And if you watch the scorecard, it comes down to round two, where I think he won like 4 minutes of that round, but he got clipped with one knee, which he didn't get hurt or anything, but he lost that round. So I don't know. I've bet him at Pick'em there, and I think that he should have won. And I think that he probably learned since that fight, going 15 minutes with a vet like C-Rod, was really hard to grapple. I think Del Valle, I think his grappling is good, but he played BJJ off his back sometimes. He goes for a guillotine, and that's just not going to work, man. So yeah, I think Dulgarian's going to smash him in round one. But then I'm not confident how he wins because it can be all three methods. So I think money line is better, but the line did move a little bit. I don't know why, but it did move. So
Yeah, so we got the Dulgarian Elekana parlay. That's Peg's parlay of the week right there. 2 locks, getting it done. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to add too much more to what you guys said. I mean, Yadier Del Valle is going to play BJJ if he gets taken down, and that's really not a recipe you want against Isaac Dulgarian. So I feel like he's going to lose a lot of minutes on his back. He is a tough son of a bitch, though. He gave that Montero guy all he could have, and then he got hit with some big shots after he started slowing down, and he still battled through and still won the third round. I like his striking. I think he's pretty clearly the better striker here. I think it's hard to say with the cardio because, like Drav said, like if you're getting beaten that badly, it's hard to continue having a good pace. So the cardio is kind of a tough dynamic to really get a gauge on, but I think Isaac Dulgarian's going to win this fight. I think it's sneakily he's going to win a decision. I think he's going to win his first decision here. I think Yadier is going to be tough enough to survive all 15 minutes. Probably just lose a lot of minutes playing jiu-jitsu off his back. I don't think he's going to really give much on the ground. I took Dulgarian just too good on.
All right. Next fight we have Jeremiah Wells versus Temba Gorimbo. Temba Gorimbo 14-5, Jeremiah Wells 12-4. Temba Gorimbo 39. Oh, I'm sorry, 34. Jeremiah Wells 39. Odds in these two gentlemen, you can get Wells plus 110. You can get Temba Gorimbo plus 130. Drav's gone. All right. I'll go first here. I have a bet.
I'm there, Peg, if you want.
No, it's all right. I'll go first. You had your chance, and now it's my time to shine. Wells plus 126 money line. Book it right now. This guy Temba, he stinks. The Rock's gone. He's cooked. This guy got a house out of it. It's amazing they put him on the live stage. They gave him a fucking house, and this is what we're getting out of production from him. What? Rocked by Luque, then subbed unconscious. Guess what's happening? Now he's getting a bigger, I was going to say bigger and blacker, but he's not blacker than him. One guy's darker than the other. But in the sense of hood and street, yes, blacker than him, stronger than him. I mean, it's just going to be totally different here. The KO power of Wells is so much bigger than Temba's. I mean, the jiu-jitsu coming out of that Marquez camp with Sean Brady is so much better here. The grappling and the strength is so much better on the Wells side. The only downside I think Wells has is his age. He's 39 years old, but if you go look at an Instagram, he's still cooking. And I mean, Key could tell you, right? Black don't crack. So I'm not really too worried about 39 years old. Like, I think that Wells here, like, everyone watched that Gorimbo fight against Luque, and it felt like the whole world was on submission because it was just so obvious. He shoots sloppy takedowns and gets submitted. Now you're going against a guy in Wells who, guess what? Has a power guillotine where he's going to crank your neck off if you shoot a sloppy takedown on him. He can knock you out in the feet. He throws heavy hands, and he can get takedowns here. Listen, Wells, they say Wells gets tired. He went 3 rounds against, like, Carlston Harris before getting subbed. He wrestled him for 15 minutes. So, like, he has cardio. Temba, if anything, I think Temba's the one who's going to get tired. I mean, like, I don't understand where this story of Temba is putting a full game together and things like that. I don't know. Like, you're not supposed to fade garbage with garbage, but, like, I don't think Wells is necessarily garbage. Like, you take out that fluke round 3 sub against Carlston Harris and then a split loss to Max Griffin. Sure, it looked like he had a step back from Max Griffin, but I think you put Temba in the cage with Max Griffin, and Max Griffin beats Gorimbo's ass. So I don't know. I think Jeremiah Wells plus odds, pretty easy for me. I'm looking into the sub prop as well because I honestly think it could be the same scenario where Temba Gorimbo starts to grapple when he feels the power of Wells and he gets guillotined. What do you think, Drav? Now I'll let you go.
Yeah, I don't have a strong take on this one. I've not fully taped it. I started, but the thing I'll say is I think Wells at 39 with injuries, with the layoff, I don't think he's looked good recently, Peg. I don't. So I think that he's probably on the decline. And I mean, he's striking.
That's the bet. You're right. Is like, is Wells washed? Is kind of what you're betting on.
And even when he was not washed, his striking is not really good. He's powerful, but he's swing and he's really hittable. He can be cracked. He's been cracked multiple times actually, but he's durable. He recovered well. But as you age, then how it's that going to look like? I don't know, man. I mean, Gorimbo, he's a long guy and he can crack, man. Sometimes he can crack down the pipe. I think that can be a path here. And we've seen Gorimbo put on cleaner 15 minutes performances, even though sometimes it looked boring and didn't look good. But he won a couple of decisions, and I just think that he's probably a better minute winner here. And he's potentially more likely to KO. But then I don't have a strong read about the grappling because Wells is a good grappler and he's strong. So I don't have a good read on that, like who's going to end up on top in a certain position. So that's the part I need to tape more, honestly. But I would not bet Wells at close line. I can tell you that. But yeah, I don't like Gorimbo deleting his social media after all that Duroc shit. I don't know what's happening.
Wait, hold up. He doesn't have an Instagram anymore?
Yeah, he deleted his Instagram.
Oh, so it's a rug pull. He really did it. Key's laughing because he knows exactly what the stunt he just pulled. We've seen that in the hood before. What do we call that? Well, all of a sudden you sell something on Facebook Marketplace and then they delete their Facebook. What happened? Well, where did everything go?
You've been hoodwinked, my brother. I think that here in this spot, I side with Wells. slight lean. I want to do more tape into this. Gorimbo is like a head case. He burned a bunch of bridges with the guys at MMA Masters, apparently. Move camps. I mean, just a bunch of weird shit, it seems like, going on.
Where is he now?
I believe he's just in Vegas, from what I know.
So, I didn't even know this shit before I bet.
Yeah, but I remember there was some huge falling out with like the MMA Masters guys, and they were saying that he like pretty much was lying about stuff, all this weird stuff. And
yeah, he's probably not poor. He's a prince from Zimbabwe. He's got a castle over there, and then Rock gave him a second castle, and now he's got 2 castles, and I don't have any. I'm renting.
And not that you can say that Colby is like the biggest truth teller in the world, because we know he's one of the biggest liars in the fucking world. But Colby was talking about this guy backstabbing a bunch of people and all this stuff. So it seems like there's just weird stuff around them. But the guy's 35. People are 34 right now. People tend to like overlook that for some reason because of how his story went. But honestly, like, we're talking about, he memed a fucking finish against Pete Rodriguez. He beat Ramiz before Ramiz apparently just had this career resurgence. And then you're talking about the ghost of fucking Nico Price. Like, what are we doing here? I don't think the guy's great. I think this is kind of a shit show, but I don't think that Jeremiah is like completely washed. I think this probably plays out a close fight at a high clip. So I'll pass right now. We'll see what more tape tells me.
Paul, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, I took some Wells plus 142.
Hell yeah.
Earlier
That's a great number.
That's a great price.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this guy is just a ball of explosion, like this guy, he looks like he's fucking chiseled out of marble. Like, this dude is a freak athlete. He's so fast. And I don't love, I kind of back a little before I finished the tape just because I knew the number was off. So I kind of went back in the tape, and I really don't love a lot of the macros. He's a lot smaller. He can be, I don't love his cardio. I don't love his fragility. He can kind of, be a little like, what's the word I'm looking for? He can be a little low. He can be low volume and like just do a lot of nothing. The Max Griffin fight wasn't a good look to me, but for Themba Gorimbo, I cannot get the AJ Fletcher fight out of my head. Like, getting process grappled by AJ Fletcher is just such a bad look. And I do think he's getting better since that fight. But Jeremiah Wells is an elite black belt. I know he got choked out by Carlston Harris, but he stuck his head in the wrong spot in the 3rd round, tired out. He's an elite black belt, though. If he gets on top, I think he's going to do some. I don't think Themba Gorimbo is going to be able to move from there. And if he does try and get up, I think he's going to stick his head into some kind of Jeremiah Wells guillotine. I think Jeremiah Wells, he likes to stay outside of kicking range too. So I think there can be a lot of just like staring from like range until Jeremiah Wells is ready to explode with a big shot or try and look to take them down. But yeah, I think Jeremiah Wells should be able to get some top time going here. I think he can even submit Themba Gorimbo. I think he can get on top and just win minutes too. So, yeah, I like Jeremiah Wells here. Hopefully the CLV curse doesn't get me.
All right. Next fight we have is the co-main event of the evening. For a co-main event of the evening, we got 2 light heavyweights. We got Ante Delija, who is on the fast track to the top, and we got Waldo Salsa Boy Acosta, who is what he is. He's 14-2, coming off a loss to Sergey Pavlovich. Ante is coming off a 1st round KO win over Marcin Tybura. Odds on these 2 gentlemen, it used to be as pick 'em as you could get, but we got some steam coming in on Ante. He's minus 135. Cortez is plus 115 now. I mean, it's tough to do. Drav, before we start this fight, we missed you from Nascimento to Frunza to Dulgarian, right? Or did you come back for Dulgarian?
I did Dulgarian.
So real quick, I'll put in the timestamps here for 1:29:30. I'll put like your breakdown for what do you got? What's your breakdown for Durden Nascimento?
I think the line is wide. I'm not sure if I'm going to play Durden, but I've played Nascimento, pick him last fight. My issue with him is he can be taken down pretty easily, and I don't think he's a really good striker. So I think Durden can win minutes on the feet, and I think he can win minutes on top. And if he can avoid getting submitted, which is not easy to do against Nascimento, I think he can win the fight. So I don't think Durden plus 2xx makes sense, honestly. If you play Nascimento, just play submission prop. That's how he's going to cover his price and win. So I think that's the way to go if you like him. But I personally think Durden is the side, but seems one-way traffic so far, so I'm not rushing. I'm waiting, and I want to see Cody decision prop as well, what's going to look like, because I think that's probably how he wins, honestly. So yeah, and he's been at ATT grinding. If you look on his Instagram, he did a post like, no opponents, but I'm grinding, I'm work with Pantoja and all these guys. That was from, I think, 3-4 weeks ago. So, and he just signed a new contract. I think it's 3 or 4 fights deal. So he's going to be ready here, I think. So interesting fight, dog or pass, but I think Nascimento should be a favorite. And I think the fight being at 130 pounds catch weight, I think. Yeah, I think it's 130.
Yeah, it's 130 catch weight.
It's good for both guys. So yeah, I think Durden could be a buy a low spot. He's normally always an underdog when you win. So I will see some props there and decide. Radtke, Frunza, I think Radtke's gonna win, but I'm not. I need to tape that one more honestly, but I'm not as passionate as everybody on the Radtke side here. But I think he has a massive chance to just knock this guy out. And if he doesn't, he can maybe grapple and submit him. But Frunza, man, if you don't put him out, he can come out late and look good sometimes later in the fight, and he can hurt you, man. So I think they're both live for a knockout. And there's some props that are maybe sticking out here about on both sides, honestly. The total, I like some violence, and the props, I'm gonna wait to see it before they're probably gonna open FanDuel tomorrow. But yeah, I think they're both live for a knockout. I guess Radtke can grapple and submit him. Radtke normally, when he loses, getting knocked out by Prates and Mike Malott, but when he's fighting lower level guys that are hittable, he's normally knocking them out. So yeah, I do think Radtke can maybe knock him out with that left hook that he has. He's pretty cool with it. So yeah. But yeah, I wouldn't play the money line on Radtke, because if the fight extends and he doesn't finish, I think the fight is better for Frunza as the fight extends.
Yo, Key, isn't this amazing? Drav's going to have to go back and watch my breakdowns, and he gave the exact same breakdowns for both fights as me. And now he's going to be like, oh my God, this can't be happening. The sharps are aligning, as they say. Yeah, I gave out Alan Nascimento by sub, and I talked about the sub KO from both ends on that fight and said fight doesn't go minus 160.
I think fight doesn't go is good. But honestly, I would not play Nascimento sub, but I think that's the way to play him if you like him.
Why? If you think about it, he's been Cody Durden has been in sub attempts from Johnson, Hadley.
Yeah, but he's not easy to submit. He's a dog, man.
Yeah, but Nascimento's back sweeps to back takes aren't like anything he's.
Yeah, he's really good, but I just think he has the wrestling to decide where the fight take place, if that makes sense. So yeah.
All right, so we're at the main event, the co-main event right now. Delija versus Acosta. Line minus 135, plus 110, or 115 now. I'll have you go right away, Drav. Delija. I mean, they're fast tracking him for a reason. He's pretty good. What do you think? How do you think this goes?
It's a good fight. I think there's a bunch of ways to play this fight. I think there's a lot of bets that have value.
I like the over.
I'm on the Delija side here just because I think he has more paths to victory. The way I see it is close fight on the feet. Delija is going to be pressuring. It's going to have moments upside, more power. Waldo, cleaner boxer, a better mint winner. But even though he's a good minute winner, he doesn't really separate against anyone. He's always on close margin, 29-28 type decision, even against bad competition. And he's not really a big knockout artist. You know, you win the distance multiple times. You knock out Lucas Bresky and Ryan Spann, but I don't think that tells us much. In the Ryan Spann, that's because Ryan Spann gassed out. And we know Bresky and Ryan Spann doesn't have a good chin. Delija, he has been hurt, but I think he's tough, and he had injuries in the past. It looked like he's locked in and ready now, training with Tom Aspinall, Mick Parkin, Martin Boudet, all these guys. Good camp to be in for a heavyweight. And he's taking that fight kind of back-to-back after the Tybura fight, which make me think he's probably healthy and ready to go. And yeah, I mean, if I think the wrestling upside could be the difference here as well, because Delija, his wrestling is decent, and he's going to be the one pressuring, which could make takedowns come easier. I think Acosta wrestling defense has gotten better. I'll give him that. But I do think Delija has some wrestling upside. I could see him landing maybe a takedown or two. Then the cardio is close. The striking is probably close because I have Delija who's going to be pressuring, landing big shots, and I have Waldo who's going to be on the back foot for the most part, landing the jab and the right hand. And he can flash some power himself, but I don't think Waldo's going to knock him out personally. So if he doesn't, it's going to be a close fight. So that's why I thought Delija at plus money was the side. I personally played that and tip it at plus 105. Now we're talking about minus 125, minus 130.
No,
I think that's where.
135.
Yeah, I think it should be around minus 125, minus 130. So now I think the line, it makes sense. So I would not play him. But if you like him, you can maybe play the decision prop. It's like plus 400 on Bet Rivers. I don't think that makes much sense because to me, Cortez Acosta is more durable and he's really not easy to finish. And I think if they go the distance, it's kind of a close fight. And one of them is plus 400, the other is like plus 250. I mean, I understand the bookies are giving Delija more KO upside, but even then, I still think that he can win a decision here. And I'm not confident he's going to finish Waldo. So I like the decision prop. And the over makes sense as well because I don't think Waldo's going to finish him. He could, but I don't think he will personally. So if you don't really want to pick a side, maybe just go with the over 2.5. I think that's also pretty decent. So yeah, I personally only have the money line on Delija plus 105. I think it's a good bet. The market agree with me. So I think him around 55% makes sense, but it's a close fight. So don't go too big on this.
Yeah, I was on Delija in his last fight. And we saw how that went. I wanted to get on him here, but I missed the plus odds. I thought it would maybe come back with the Acosta love. It never did. So I'm going to lean on the over here because I don't see Costa finishing Delija, and I don't see Delija finishing Costa. Like, Costa's pretty durable, so he's not going to get the knockout. Maybe you have to take him down and submit him, but then again, his takedown defense is pretty good. So it's like this has decision written all over it. So I'm going to take the over. I think I was looking at it last night. It was like minus 110. Now I'm seeing it's minus 125. So probably going to get on that now for 2 units, but like over seems like it's going to be pretty good to me. Like, I don't see either guy finding a finish here. What do you think, Key?
Yeah, pass fight. Just need to know more about Delija at this level. There were concerns about fragility over in PFL. One is about time that Tybura gets knocked out in that fashion. So you doing that to Tybura isn't like making me think that you're like instantly ready to be in that top 5 of heavyweights, which Acosta at this point is somewhat like within the gatekeeping range of that for that upper tier of the division. So it'll be an interesting fight. Interested to see what Acosta's how much showboating he does and how seriously he takes this fight in between the minutes.
All right, Paul, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm contemplating the. I was contemplating the plus 110 on Delija, and then the line moved, so it kind of made my decision for me. I feel like this fight is just going to be a very close fight on the feet. I think Waldo can keep a decent range jab. Delija sometimes can be a little hesitant. I do think he could have wrestling success, but I was actually fairly impressed with how Waldo got up from Sergey Spivak. So I don't know. To me, it just seems like a very close fight. Like he said, Delija had a little bit of concerns with his chin over in the PFL. I don't think Waldo hits all that hard, but to me, this fight just seems like a very close fight that kind of could go either way and probably goes all 15 minutes. So I do like the shout on the over as well.
All right, perfect. Again, the sharps aligning. All right, main event time. Guys, like, comment, and subscribe. David Onama versus Steve Garcia. David Onama is minus or plus 114. Steve Garcia minus 134. Paul, you're the guest. I'll have you go first. What do you think for this fight?
Well, I just want to say I appreciate you guys for having me on. Really
bro.
love talking to you. Love talking to you guys. Really sharp guys. I'm probably gonna find my way to a David Onama bet. I'm probably gonna try and fade Steve Garcia one more time. He just does so much on tape that I just do not like. Like I cannot get the Mahashate fight out of my head. I know it's up at 155, but Mahashate is not a very good fighter. I can't get the Shah Yalan knockdown out of my head. He throws a lot of these like lunging kicks that he just leaves his hand down and is just able to get countered over. I bet Cater last fight. Obviously, a terrible bet. Obviously, Cater is just completely washed at this point. But I thought that Cater would be able. He's a really good boxer. I thought he'd be able to see these openings and would be able to find a counter shot on him. But Cater just seemed like he just wanted to like evade a lot of the time instead of sitting down and trying to counter. Where I think David Onama, if Steve Garcia comes into the pocket, Onama's going to bite his mouthpiece and swing with him. I mean, this fight is at the end of the day, this fight's going to be awesome. I feel like you can just line it a straight pick 'em. I feel like it's going to be a car crash. Both guys have been hurt plenty of times. Both guys have a ton of knockout power. I think both guys might be able, if they wanted to, get some wrestling going. Both guys have a pretty suspect takedown defense, but I do trust David Onama's like get up game more. He was able to scramble with Mason Jones at 155, with Jonathan Pierce, and I do like Onama's clinch game as well. I like the way he throws knees and elbows in the clinch. He hit some nice knees and elbows in the clinch against Gabriel Santos, which set up the knockout. So I feel like David Onama might find it. I feel like David Onama is going to find the knockout here, but it is scary fading Steve Garcia. I mean, this guy is as red hot as it gets, But I feel like David Onama with the clinch game, I feel like he just has a little bit better process in the striking, and he's plus money here. I think that tends me to pick David Onama and possibly find a bet on him if this line keeps getting a little bit wider.
All right, yeah. When I first looked into this fight, I was looking. I mean, my first thought was under is easy. Under is probably going to be free. I still think it is, but it opened bet online at what plus 200, and I saw it at like plus 140, and I was like, oh, I'll bet it. Give me like an hour, and then I look back and it's minus 110. I still think it's fine. I was waiting to see what FanDuel gives for fight ends by KO. I think. Oh, never mind. Here it is on DraftKings, minus 600. All right, so
no, it's minus 290 on FanDuel.
So yeah, okay. So either way, that's shot too. All right, under for me. I think David Onama's aside. I tried to fade Steve Garcia. I still don't think Steve Garcia is good. I refuse to think he's good. I bet Cater last time tried to get him to win. Cater didn't even look interested in fighting him. He actually looked pretty good there as well. I won't lie. But David Onama is just a better fighter here. I think he's got more power. I think he's got a better chance of putting 25 minutes together than Steve Garcia does. So yeah, David Onama plus odds for me, but I'm not sure if I'm going to bet it just yet. What do you think, Drav?
Yeah, I'm not going to waste anyone's time. I don't know what to think about it. It's a banger, but I don't know how anyone can be confident in a side. Like, it's so volatile. They're gonna swing. They both have massive power, and they're both getting hurt a lot. The only thing I'll say, I've seen Garcia put down and knocked out before. I've never seen Onama finish before.
He's got good recovery.
So yeah, that's one thing. And then if anyone were to grapple, I think Onama has that upside. We've seen Garcia struggle with that in the past. So yeah, I mean, I would only bet the plus money here. So like Onama plus 110, plus 120, I could only bet that. Garcia, you know, if he was an underdog, then it's different. But the guy has been so hot recently, but so is Onama, to be fair. But yeah, it's just a good fight, man. I mean, this fight is going 5 rounds will be nuts, man. I think it's gonna go. Someone's gonna die inside 2 rounds, more than likely.
Key, what do you think? Close us out.
I would have bet the house on after UFC 275. I would have bet the house on Steve Garcia, never main eventing in the UFC in his career, and probably would have thought that his career would probably be out of the UFC by now. This guy, I mean, as Paul said, is the definition of red hot. It's kind of tough to like even cap this fight. We know what's going to happen. It's just going to be a violence and car crash. Sort of who bonks who first. I side with Onama. I think that he's getting better. I think that he, from a technical standpoint, of course, there's still a lot of issues defensively and striking, but he's at least trying to set stuff up better, using those angles. He's getting been at Factory X, I believe, for a good little minute now after the James Krause stuff. So I don't think that that's the greatest camp for him, but he has made improvements. Steve Garcia, it feels like he's kind of high rolling it. And the Calvin Kattar is that a win in 2025? Like, with how washed this guy looks, like, is that really a good win at this point? I don't think so. So for me, it's a pass. Lean Onama.
What was impressive though is I think he's the first guy to drop it. That was impressive.
Yeah, I mean, Steve Garcia hits like absolute truck. For a featherweight, he has popped like a fucking welterweight. Like that is his power is proven to be real. So this is a violent fight. I'm excited.
All right, guys, and that's the show. That's UFC Fight Night. Onama versus Garcia. Paul, thanks again for joining us, man. I said I would put your socials below, but you're not really on social media. We'll be looking forward to seeing you join us again in 2026. Drav and Keys shit will be below. Check it out. I think now would be the time to get it because you get Apex card, MSG, and then you could wrap up the year with the boys. Show them that you're subscribed to our channel. They'll give you a discount code. Other than that, join the Discord. We throw free bets in there. We make a ton of money. I mean, it's free, so why not join it? All right, guys, that's it. Peace.